welcome to Daily Dictation. This is an interactive video to help you practice your English skills. You will do this by listening to 5 sentences. The sentences will be about the topic winter fun at a low intermediate level. As you listen to each sentence, you will write each sentence down in a document or piece of paper. When you write these sentences down, you will try your best to use the correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation. After you write down each sentence, I will then show you what each sentence looks like when it is correctly written, and you can double check and see where you made errors and how many errors you made. During this time, I will also explain some grammar concepts and some spelling tips and tricks to help you learn English better. Let's get started. This is a skill that is best developed if it is practiced every day. So there is new sentences each weekday, new topics each week, and 2 English levels offered for you to practice. The instructions for this activity. You will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. 5 sentences will be read. Each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence to the best of your ability. You will use your listening skills to do this. Try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization in each sentence. On the screen, you're going to see numbers 1 to 5. Each number represents a different sentence that will be read. We'll start with sentence number 1. Number 1. The small igloo melted after the snowfall. The small igloo melted after the snowfall. The small igloo melted after the snowfall. Number 2. He wore his parka to go sledding. He wore his parka to go sledding. He wore his parka to go sledding. Number 3. The snowman fell over as the flurries fell. The snowman fell over as the flurries fell. The snowman fell over as the flurries fell. Number 4. She forgot her coat and started to shiver. She forgot her coat and started to shiver. She forgot her coat and started to shiver. Number 5. They went skiing around the frozen pond. They went skiing around the frozen pond. They went skiing around the frozen pond. I will read each sentence one more time, starting with sentence number 1. The small igloo melted after the snowfall. Number 2. He wore his parka to go sledding. Number 3. The snowman fell over as the flurries fell. Number 4, she forgot her coat and started to shiver. Number 5, they went skiing around the frozen pond. All right, so those are our sentences for today. Now we're going to get ready to have a look and see what they look like correctly written. If you found that this video was just a little bit too fast, you can listen again and adjust the playback speed in the settings of the video to make it go slower. If you just need to listen to specific sentences again, check the description for timestamps. Now let's get ready to check our answers. Starting with number 1. The small igloo melted after the snowfall. So in terms of the structure of the sentence, the small igloo is actually the subject, focusing on the noun igloo, and small is our adjective here to describe the noun. And since we're specifying it, that's how we're using the article the. Melted is our verb, and it's in simple past. And then we have a coordinating conjunction to tell us a relationship with time between this and this. And the snowfall, this is a noun here. Snowfall is one word, even though snow is one word and fall is another word. Snowfall together talks about the actual weather event of heavy snow falling. Igloo is another difficult word for spelling. Split it up, igloo, and really focus on this double O here. Let's have a look at number 2. He wore his parka to go sledding. For this one, he is the subject. Wore is the verb. It's in simple past, and it doesn't have the ed because wore is an irregular verb. His parka, we have a possessive adjective here in the noun parka. Then we have an infinitive, to go. And then after the infinitive, we have sledding, which is the activity of going on a sled. And it's actually used as a noun here, but because it's in the form of ing, we call that a gerund. And when we have a word with ing on it, we do typically add the double consonant here. Number 3, the snowman fell over as the flurries fell. So here we do have another word to signal that there's 2 time events happening. This is happening and this is happening at the same time. The snowman, this is the subject of the sentence. Snowman is one word, it's one thing. Fell is the simple past of fall. It's an irregular verb. And this is actually a phrasal verb when we have a main verb and a preposition together, one after the other. It's typically a phrasal verb and it always comes together. The flurries here, for this word, make sure that there are 2 R's. You can split it up like this, flurries. Another thing you want to remember is for the singular, we typically end in a Y for just flurry. But because it is plural now, we're removing that Y and adding IES on the end. Number 4, she forgot her coat and started to shiver. Now we have a coordinating conjunction in the middle, but because these 2 clauses are very closely related, we do not need a comma. So here we don't need a comma. In longer sentences where the 2 clauses are not closely related and you have and in the middle, then you would need a comma, but because they're so closely related, then we do not. She forgot her coat and started to shiver. So she is the subject here. Forgot is the main verb here. Possessive adjective and then coat. The hardest thing about this is the order of the vowels. So make sure that if you had those in the wrong order, that you practice that word a little bit. Then of course you have a coordinating conjunction and. This is in simple past, so now this verb over here in the next clause does have to be simple past as well, which is why we have the ed. And started is in the simple past, but then we're also talking about started what? Started the action of shivering, but we can't have two verbs in the same form directly after each other, so we need to put this one in the infinitive form. And let's finally look at number 5. They went skiing around the frozen pond. Similar to sledding, skiing functions as a gerund here, an activity. So it's functioning like a noun, like the name of an activity, but it's actually having an ing end. So that means that it's a gerund. And our main verb here is actually went in the simple past. And they is our subject. We have the preposition around, and then the frozen pond. Of course, pond is a noun, and this just is an adjective here. So for this one's, the trickiest thing would be to remember the double I. This is incredibly rare in English. In English, we almost never have a double I, but this is one of the strange words that we do. So remember that it has to be memorized when you are spelling. Remember that double I because it's the word ski, then ing on that to make it into the progressive form of a verb or gerund. So that is some information on some of the typical spelling errors and some different grammar concepts that are mentioned in these sentences. Now, these bold words are the words that we're focusing on this week. If you want to focus on them and practice more, I will give you a better list here. So you should study the words flurries, igloo, snowman, coat, sled, ski, parka, snowfall, shiver, frozen. Make sure you feel comfortable and confident using these words. If you are able to use them when you're speaking, that is really good. Just make sure that you're using the appropriate grammar and pronunciation. And on the other hand, if you're using them in your written work, make sure that you can spell them properly and that, again, you're using the correct grammar. These are really useful if you plan on doing an IELTS exam. If you plan on doing an IELTS exam and you come from a cold country or country with snow that has some of these activities, then you'd be able to explain it in English really well, which is a huge strength. This is also true if you've just located to a new country and you want to study here or at the new country and you want to practice your English a little bit better. These words could be pretty common in your new location. Besides that, we are all finished for today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.